Hello, hello. Welcome to the Money Mindset Show, episode 8 or episode 9. One of those two, either episode 8 or 9, something like that. And as you can see, I'm wearing my Santa Claus hat, not because it's Christmas. It's actually the dead of summer. It's June, about to be July in Houston, Texas. So it is very hot over here. But the reason I'm wearing this Santa Claus hat is because I'm going to be dishing out golden nuggets. I'm going to be dishing out gifts today to expand your mind. And that way, hopefully, you can take something with you from this and use this to your benefit. I don't gain anything from telling you this. I don't sell any courses. I don't sell mentorship. I'm not selling anything. So this is really irrelevant if you take it or not. Doesn't make a difference to me. Nevertheless, I still want to dish out gifts because I'm a generous person and I would love to have had someone in my corner that would tell me the things I'm about to tell you today. But I'll start off with saying this. I think that the average person spends their entire life trying to escape reality instead of actually building a reality they don't want to escape from. Think about it. People don't hate Mondays. You may hear that all the time, but they do not hate Mondays. They hate the life waiting for them on Monday, which is different. People don't need another vacation. People need freedom. And I think that the biggest problem with modern society is that we've become experts at escaping symptoms instead of curing the disease. So that leads me into the next topic. People don't solve problems, they escape them. You have a bad day, you drink. Lonely, dating apps. Stressed, shopping. Burnt out, vacations. You feel empty, so you eat food. You're bored, you scroll. People don't fix reality, they try to numb themselves from the reality. People aren't chasing happiness, they're chasing relief. They're not trying to solve the issue at hand, they're trying to solve the symptoms. And if you solve the symptoms, then how can you actually solve the problem? Because the problem will continue to exist. You need to cure it. You need a cure, not a pain reliever. Appearances is what people are looking for and going after. Instead of actually wanting to be rich, people would rather look rich. Rolexes, trips, luxury apartments, bottle service, BBLs, designer clothes, Instagram, status. Bottom line is that we've become a society obsessed with looking successful instead of actually becoming successful. That is the issue. It's all about appearances. And the issue at hand is that people don't buy assets. They try to buy validation. And therefore that leads to an empty result. That leads to them getting more dopamine. And we're addicted to dopamine. We want everything to be instant. Uber Eats, Amazon, TikTok, Netflix, porn, sports betting, food delivery, dating apps. Nobody wants 10 years. Nobody wants to work anymore and is patient anymore. Everybody wants things now. Nobody wants a process. Nobody wants to go through the hard, difficult, challenging process of working your way up. People want it now. Everybody wants results, but nobody wants to do the work. Society rewards this dopamine seeking behavior. And wealth rewards delayed gratification. This is the difference between people who make it to the top of their profession or career or whatever goal that they're looking to achieve and people who stay in the same place. It's all about distraction. Nobody sits alone anymore. Always, people are always stimulated, always entertained, always consuming. They're all into politics, sports, celebrity gossip, reality shows, drama, you name it. They're all into everything else except their own well being, their own future. They would rather be invested into someone else's future and results. The system doesn't need you miserable. This is what people don't understand. The system doesn't need you to be miserable. The system just needs you to be entertained, docile. That's what they need you to do. And so we live where everything isn't is questionable. Everything that you thought was real is questionable. This is the times that we live in today. Friday night, people go out, have a good time. People go to happy hour. People go to Saturday brunch. Everything revolves around the worker. If you don't notice, concerts, football games are on Sunday. Vacations, you have a 2 week vacation, from your job. You know, uh, then you go to work on Monday. People move cities. They move their whole livelihood to be next to jobs. They buy homes to be next to jobs. They plan their whole life around the job. And this makes me wonder, are we all living in a fabricated reality similar to that show, or I'm sorry, that movie, The Truman Show? If you haven't seen that movie, I highly recommend you watch it. It will definitely open your mind. But basically, in the movie, similar to how people do today, they wake up, they commute to work, they go to work and work, then they consume, sleep, and repeat the same thing over and over every single week until they hit Saturday, Sunday, and then go back to work on Monday. Society wasn't built around freedom. It was built around predictability. This is why you see a lot of people that would rather have a 9 to 5 job than build their own business, than invest in themselves. Because if you invest in yourself, it's not predictable. The income isn't predictable. The outcome isn't predictable. You actually have to work and become good at something to make money. But that's the trap. That is the trap that they want you to believe. Because if you become good at something, you don't need to have that 9 to 5 anymore. You don't need to be stuck within the confines of this building or cubicle or box that your job puts you in. And again, I'm not against 9 to 5 employees. I am not. But at the same time, you can't complain and be miserable when you're choosing to be miserable. See what I'm saying? It's a great quote that never escapes me. And it says, your boss will never pay you enough money to live next to him or her. Think about that. Your boss will never pay you enough to live next to him or her. So, with that being the case, the everyday employee works harder today than before, yet feels poorer and lives a less quality of life than before. How is that possible? Well, for one, rent has gone up, gas has gone up, insurance has gone up, groceries has gone up, healthcare has gone up, childcare, even fast food has gone up, which was designed to be more economical. But wages, what about your income? Has that gone up as much as expenses have? Barely. And you can look it up for yourself. Look up the data. Wages have been stagnant since the 1970s and 80s compared to inflation. Nominal increasement when it comes to wages. So people aren't lazy. This idea that older generations say that my generation and future generations are lazy is not true. We're working a lot harder, if not the same at minimum, as our previous generations. But yet we're barely making ends meet. People are exhausted. Okay. Society calls workers essential until it's time to pay them like they actually are. And like I said before, your boss will never pay you enough to live next to them. That should tell you all you need to know about that. Labor pays bills. Ownership is what creates freedom. We idolize celebrities, athletes, entrepreneurs, billionaires. They have private jets, they have mansions, these luxury cars, vacations, you name it. But do they teach ordinary people how to become wealthy like them? Or do they simply sell you a dream of how it can be, how it is to be wealthy and rich? People see the Lamborghini. They don't see the 15 years you had to dedicate to get that Lamborghini. People see the freedom. They don't see the sacrifice you had to endure in order to get that freedom. People see the mansion, the big houses. They don't see the failures that that person had to endure to get to that point. And of course, people see the money. They, of course, see the money, but they don't see the systems in place to get that money. They just see the outcome. They see the end result. They don't see the steps in order to get there. And I believe that's intentional because they show you the scoreboard. They'll show you, okay, this is how much money we got, but they'll rarely show you the practice, the long hours, the painful moments that took to get to that point. And again, that's to me intentional because society will teach you how to spend. You don't see many very outlets that teach you how to own, especially when it comes to owning assets. Right? People know the cost of a Rolex, but few people know what a rental property produces. People know luxury and they know, you know, how what the score and the rankings are for their favorite football, basketball, baseball team, but they rarely know how to leverage themselves to acquire something that produces income. Money is everywhere. If you haven't noticed that, money is everywhere. Information is readily available at your fingertips. You can get it instantly. But what is rare? The things they don't tell you and they don't show you: trust, empathy, communication, influence, presence, leadership, social skills, making people feel understood, helping people, connecting with people. Human skills are the new gold, and they don't teach you that. They don't showcase that. Again, they showcase the outcome, the results. They don't showcase you the skills and the attributes that you need in order to attain what they've attained. Because ownership prints money. Human connection prints opportunities. That's the difference. And the future belongs to people who understand human beings. This idea where you can live by yourself or in a silo is incorrect thinking because you need people in order to achieve your goals. Point blank period. You can't achieve it on your own. Now, the wrong question to ask yourself is how much money do I need? That is not the correct question to ask yourself. Or I guess not the best question to ask yourself. A better question would be what do I need to own? That would be a better question to ask yourself. And the answer is pretty straightforward. Things that produce income, such as businesses, assets. Cash flow is income, brands, communities, systems, distribution, attention. These are things that you should be looking to own because people don't become wealthy from working hard. If that was the case, I know hundreds of people, especially in my family, that would be billionaires right now because they work their ass off, but yet they're paycheck to paycheck. People become wealthy because eventually they stop selling their time and start owning systems that give them back time. The rich don't own time, they own systems that give them time. People consume, people spend, people react, they stay entertained, they stay comfortable. But instead, you should be thinking, learning, building, connecting, owning, because these are the things that are going to make you and allow you to free yourself from the chains of unfulfillment, of not having a purpose, of not having options. These are the chains that are going to be broken. So I'll leave you with this. Stop trying to look rich. Instead, start trying to become difficult to control. The most dangerous person in today's economy isn't the richest person. Don't get it twisted. It's the person who needs very little, owns a lot, and knows how to connect with people. That is the most dangerous person. That is the person that we should be all looking to become. And there's multiple examples of this. It's not the smartest person. It's not the hardest working person. It's the person that understands people and doesn't need the gratification of items and materials, and many times even the opinions of others to do what they seek out to do. They aren't afraid to take risks. They aren't afraid to look dumb doing something that they love to do, something that they're passionate to do. They aren't afraid or intimidated by unpredictability. They trust in themselves, they believe in themselves, and they know that with due time, they will be successful because they know that what they want and they know what they're looking to do. So, with that being the case, I'll leave you with that. Hopefully, this brought you some type of awakening, and hopefully, you will achieve financial freedom for yourself, but not only for yourself, but for your family, your future generations, because they need it, especially moving forward in time. As things become more expensive, there's more supervision or surveillance. It's going to become more and more difficult to not be tied down. And if you can liberate yourself, not only will you be doing a great service to you, your family, your future generations, but you'll also be doing a great service to humanity. So with that being the case, hit me up, DM me if you want to strategize. I'm always looking for people with like mindsets and always looking to be a part of a community and build a community where we can all benefit from each other and build our own ecosystem to not be tied down by financial slavery. That being the case, peace, question everything.